Then write the parameters that you want to pass to your function, what you want to return. I want to write. There's a special class that's called map that can do that in one line. Map has two arguments, where first argument is a function. Filter passes elements one by one from the iterable to this function as arguments. These two are merged into tuples. Important thing to mention is that hello coders, welcome to my channel. I'm David, your guide to mastering programming. Today, you will learn everything you need to know about the lambda functions, maps, filter, and zip through several examples. Enjoy how we break down this topic for you. I will create a simple function that adds two numbers. Now when I print add and then pass values 1, 2 and 1, 2 and 3, I expect to see 5. This function has a very simple logic. So can I create this function in fewer lines or fewer characters? The answer to that is yes, but I need to use something that's called a lambda function. Lambda function is an anonymous function. Why it's called anonymous? Because it doesn't have a name. For example, to create a lambda function, you need a keyword lambda, then write the parameters that you want to pass to your function, and then write a colon, and here write what you want to return. I want to return an addition of my arguments, x and 2, x and y. But since this function doesn't have a name, you may wonder, how do I call it? In order to call it, you can attach a name to it. For example, set will be equal to this function. And now I can call it print set 1 and pass values 1 and 2, and I expect to see 3. As you can see, 3 is printed. Also, another way is I can directly pass values to this x and y. Let me copy this function. And here I can open the parentheses and write my lambda function, and these two parentheses here are used to pass values 1 and 2 to parameters x and y. Now I expect to see 3 as well. As you can see, 3 is printed. But this is not the main usage of lambdas. They are not used like this. Most of the time, you will use lambdas as arguments to higher order functions. Higher order function is a function that gets other function as a parameter or can return some function. Now I'll write you an example of a higher order function, and you will see how lambdas are used. Now when I call this function square, the first parameter here is named func to remind you that the first parameter is a function and the second one is an iterable. Iterable are types that can be iterated through. For example, a list is one iterable type, a tuple is an iterable type, etc. In this function, I create a new list and it's an empty list. Then I iterate through all these elements in an existing one, and I create a new variable n, which has a value of a function that I will pass and the element of a list that I will pass on to that function. And now that element is appended to my new list. And here I print that list. It will be more easier when I write you an example. Here, first I will pass this iterable, and next I'll pass a function. The function that I will pass will be square because I want all my elements to be squared. So I'll pass a lambda, then here write an argument that I want, then I will write what I want my function to return, which is in this case the square of that parameter x. As you can see, when I pass this function here to this square function, now this func becomes this lambda function. And it matches nicely since in this line, I pass just one argument to this lambda function. Now when I print this, I expect to see 4, 9, 1, 16, and 25. 4, 9, 1, 16, and 25 is printed. Also, lambdas can be used as parameters to higher order functions that are built in, that you didn't create yourself. For example, one use case is with sorted function that sorts an iterable. I'll create a variable name new and call the sorted function where first parameter is an iterable and I'll pass my list R. And the next is the key. Key is the value for which this sorting function will sort my iterable, which means here I can pass a function. For example, I can pass a function lambda and it will have one argument, and now I will check if that argument is even or not, and this will return true or false or 0 and 1. So now when I print this, what do you expect to see on the console? Write down in the comments below. As you can see, 3, 1, 5, 2, and 4 are printed. But why? Since the value is this key, the sorting function gets one element from my iterable, which is in this case 2, and then pass it to this lambda function here. Now, when 2 is passed, I check if 2 is even or not. Since 2 is even, this returns true or 1. But when I pass 3 here to this key and I pass it to my lambda, it checks if it's even, and it's not even. So this function, this lambda function, returns false, or if you convert it to int, it will return 0, which means 0 is less than 1, so 3 will be before 2, which is in this case, as you can see here, 3 is before 2, 2 is here. Now I pass 1. Since 1 is also odd, this function will return 0, so 1 is after the 3. But 4 is not, 4 is even, so this will have a value 1. As you can see, this function here converts these values 2, 3, 1, 4 into values 1, 0, 0, 1, 0. So when you sort this 1 will be shifted here, and these zeros will be shifted to the left, and this last 0 will be shifted here. So this is how this sorting function sees these values. Do you remember the first function that I created? Let me remind you. As you can see, here I used how many lines to create this? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I used 5 lines to create this square function that will square all of my elements in this iterable. But there's a special class that's called map that can do that in one line. Let me show you. I'll create a variable and call it n, and that variable will be equal to that class map. Map has two arguments, where first argument is a function. So here I'll pass some lambda function. For example, lambda function for squaring, x square 2, and then these other arguments are you can pass as many iterable arguments as you want. For example, I'll pass my AR list, and now when I print n, you expect to see all these numbers but squared. But it doesn't print that. It just prints mapped object at and then some location. This is the location where that map object is stored. So now, if I want to get all those elements, I have to write the asterisk sign, which will unpack that location. Now when I run, as you can see, 4, 9, 1, 16, and 25 is printed. Also, here, I can convert this map into a list, for example, using the typecasting. I can write here list. Now when I print, as you can see, it's indeed a list. Let me be clear. Here I can write type n, and I expect to see list. As you can see, list. How this map works. As I said before, first parameter is a function. It can be lambda function or any other. And other parameters can be as many as you want iterables. So they have to be iterable. Lambda function gets first element of that iterable and pass it as an argument to this function. Now it gets 2 and pass it here, x, and now that x is squared and returned. Then it gets 3 and the x is passed, and that the 3 is passed, and now that 3 is squared and returned, and so on and so forth until the end of an iterable. But you may wonder, what if you want to, let's say, add these two numbers, 2 and 3, 1 and 4, and let's say 5 and 6. How we will do it? You can't write here x and then return x plus y. As I said before, this gets the first element and passes it to a function. So this will get 2 and pass it here, and x, okay, x will be 2, but the y is undefined. So this will return an error. There is two workarounds around this. For example, you can write a list of pairs. Now this map will pass to this function first element, which is a tuple pair, 2 and 3. And now here in this function, we can modify it so it can work. We can get the first element, which is 2, and the second element, here 3, which is on position 1. Now, when we print this, we expect to see 5, 5, 11. As you can see, 5, 5, 11 is printed. Also, another workaround is to simply write two lists. When I print this, 5, 5, 11 is printed. Now, why this works? That's because x becomes the first element of the first iterable, which is now 2, and y becomes the first the first element of the second iterable, which is in now 3. And those two are added and returned. Next, x becomes the second element of the first iterable, which is 1, and y becomes the second iterable of the second element of the second iterable, which is 4, and so on. But sometimes we don't want to modify or to perform some operations on these iterables. Maybe we want to sort them in some way. For example, maybe you want to get all the even numbers of this b. In that case, we use a class filter. I'll show you how it works. N equals filter. And here, the first argument is just like in map, an function. For example, I create a lambda function that checks if an element is even. X percentage 2 equals 0. And then I'll pass an iterable. Now, when I print this, the same problem occurs. So if I want to get the elements, I have to unpack it and here write this asterisk sign. As you can see, 4 and 6 are printed. Also, I can write here list, and now this b will become a list. This n will become a list, as you can see for O. As you can see, it's a list now. How this works? The same as map, filter passes elements one by one from the iterable to this function as arguments. So we will get the first element 3 and pass it here as argument. Is it true? Is this true? Well, it's not, since 3 is odd, not even, so we won't get this 3. But if I pass 4 and 6, those are even, so we will get those. But unlike maps, you can't have multiple iterables passed. Here, you can get only one iterable. So you can't have here two arguments. But the same way as with maps, we have some workarounds. One workaround is we can map this. I mean, not map it, but create tuples. For example, 3 and 1 here, or put 4 and, let's say, 3, and then 6 and 5. Now, maybe you want to get the elements only if they, when they are added, are greater than 5. In that case, here you can write x, and then x of 0 plus x of 1. If they are greater than 5, you will get them. So now when I print this, when I run this, as you can see, 4, 3, and 6, 5 are printed. Since when we add 4 and 3, that's 7, which is greater. But when we add 3 and 1, that's not greater. So filter is used if you want to filter an iterable, which means if you want to get some elements based on some criteria. Zip class merges two iterables or more into tuples. For example, now if I write n equals zip, and here write a1, zip a2, and I print n, I won't bother you no more. You probably know what will happen, so we have to unpack it with this asterisk sign. Now, as you can see, these two are merged into tuples. First element from the first iterable will be on the first position, and the second element from the and then the first element from the second iterable will be the second position. So 1 and 2 are packed, 1 and A are packed, 2 and B are packed, and 3 and C are packed. And they are, as you can see here, tuples. Also, as before, we can here convert it to list. So now when I print this, as you can see, it's a list. But I want to ask you something. What do you think will be printed if I write this? Write down in the comments below. It prints 1, 2, 3, ABC. Why is that? Because when I wrote asterisk A1, this unpacked this whole list. And then it created pairs, 1 with 2 and 3, and A with B and C. You will understand this better when I get to unpacking. The unpacking is a topic that we will get to very soon. I just need to finish some other containers. Important thing to mention is that all three, map, filter, and zip, create lazy elements. What we mean by that is that they don't compute all elements at once. Instead, they generate each element only when needed, when you iterate through them. So you can iterate through them only once, after which they are exhausted. But if you want to preserve them, you have to convert that zip, map, or filter object type into some other type, for example, list or tuple. Here, when I write n and then I print n again, as you can see, it works perfectly fine. They're both printed one after another. But if I remove this, here list, and write just the unpacking here, now when I run this code, as you can see, the values are only printed the first time. The second time, there is nothing. Only end line is printed because this asterisk n is empty. I hope you found this video helpful. Like and subscribe for more coding content. See you in the next video. But until then, keep coding.